Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Unified Proving Ground Circuit Qualifier. Wow, that's the words that I have. It's Taco Tuesday, Taco Gaming. They're on top of it. Game number one, just wow.
I feel like we were on like a really nice just a calm cruise over the ocean, and then we took a plunge directly into the Bermuda Triangle and then like got sucked up into a whirlwind and just like completely sunk into the ground. Oh god, that was that was quite the way to end out that game, which that was otherwise a pretty solid early game for Maryville.
Yeah, I would definitely say that. I was at one point in time I was getting perched up on my chair like I was Batman looking over the city as the game was going on. I was just like, "What is happening? What's going on?" So you were looking at this game, making some comments your own going throughout it. Like, how are you feeling after game number one of this series?
I feel like we had a solid 20 minutes. Solid first 20 minutes, then we just kind of said, yeah, let's not really play League of Legends anymore. Let's kind of do our own thing and we'll see how it goes. I feel like every 3 minutes I'm like, wait, no, not that. Anything but that. No.
Did this exceed your expectations coming onto the desk for this game here?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, with that, we do have replays, and I personally am very excited for these replays because, like we were talking about, the first 20 minutes become a very standard thing, right? The very first clip that we have here shows how things started off for Maryville's favor.
Right, so Maryville had a really solid start. You know, their lanes were all doing phenomenally well. Especially Niles had a gigantic CS lead for the entirety of this, and we see bot lane 2v2 kill for Evan and Shady. They're able to start off the bottom lane super well. Just everything seems to be going super nicely and smoothly. It's all smooth sailing for Maryville, and they even get to survive this this second attempt to the fight also. Just you know, really normal stuff for them. We're gonna get to see like a bunch of other, or we saw a bunch of other plays for them that worked really well. They just had a solid lead, and yeah,
it doesn't go bad at all, right?
The most normal clip that we could show, just to prove that Maryville can play regular games.
Well, let me go ahead and bring up something called the comeback factor. They popped the X factor, and they were able to get in there, and our second replay shows exactly what that comeback mechanic was, and I feel like we have to highlight it. It was a hike moment as we got to see Cozy go deep in there.
Assassin Rock was very fun. It's the cleanup. There were so many fights where the Malphite ended up cleaning up all of these plays. And I believe this one is the Lynx pentakill as well. So yeah, this is just such a fun one. This is what happens for Taco Gaming, where their front line meets their back line, and it's just very fun.
It's like you were hyping up Lynx. You said you put resources into this player.
You put
this
resources.
Is an example.
You put the gold on Lynx. Lynx will carry. Like you can, as soon as Taco Gaming starts to move forward in that fight, it's just over.
And I mean, happy bees. Beautiful replays to see Link over there on the side. And I mean, honestly, I'm a believer now. You have converted me. I am fully on the train. Lynx did not die inside of this game. Just fantastic work throughout, and even went with a different build than what we've been seeing from Ezreal's, right, Solari?
Yeah, I mean, he went the Divine Sunder, which was definitely interesting, but I mean, over the course of the game, I definitely started to agree with it more. But I'm very surprised it wasn't a game with Shattered Crown.
Okay, and we do have another replay coming up here. I believe this is the one that we're talking about. Yep, hike, there it is.
Yeah, so
that's what we're talking about here. Oh,
this play is a really good example of Taco Gaming being solid in the teamfight stage, but not really understanding what to do with their map tempo, because you can see right here, they're about to start going for the Assassin Rock again, getting the cleanups. They've got Cozy in there finding some kills, Doxa and Lynx as well finding some more at the end, but then they just stay too long for the rest of this play. They get really confident. They're like, all right, we finally have some momentum in this game. We got to do something with it. They decide, all right, we're going to push out this wave. We're going to deny everyone from getting around here. They're not acknowledging that their lead is very sudden and they don't actually have it quite yet. They're just starting to come back. And the death timers aren't very long. So we're about to watch them get punished really heavily. Lynx just barely survives, but they've lost all that momentum because they stayed too long. They use a TP from Cozy to do not a whole lot. They lose all this positioning, and now they're up against this Drake that Maryville just have all to themselves. There's no real feasible way that Taco Gaming can get in on this pit anymore. And you can see they still are trying regardless, so... This is just an example of them not quite having the cleanest gameplay in the early game, and showing that Maryville do actually have a pretty good understanding of what they were doing, because it wasn't the later half of this game quite yet.
I'm pretty sure that is the exact turning point when things go downhill.
Yeah, that's the moment where we start going, oh wait, hold on, Cozy plays Assassins, like you said, Assassin Rock, like, hold on, he knows how to get into the backline, alright, hold up. So we got to see those different angles. We also got to see a Feels top lane moment there with the Malphite dying twice in a minute. It's time span, so Feels top lane, man, but there's more chaos to fold here. This was a over 40-minute game, and there was one player who said, screw the team fights. Let me just farm up. Had over 400 farm in this game.
That was insane. We're about to watch Niles play ranged Tryndamere, as I called it during that game. He does not care about the fights. He does not care about kills. He just wants to go click all these structures and everything. And you know, he very nearly does end the game. I feel like he could have potentially given it a try, but he tanks too much damage from this turret trying to keep his minions alive, and I just don't think it ended up being worth it. There's only the Malphite ended up staying with the recall too, so I think in hindsight, Niles could probably look at this and be like, I could have maybe ended the game here, but unfortunately did not make the call in the moment.
His rage will have to wait itself out until game number 2 goes in there and see what they got. Post game, I'm excited to see this one, to see how this looks. Wow, look at that graph.
Oh man.
Oh no.
If you're a Maryville player, look away, please. Just don't look at the screen right now. It'll be better for you, I promise. This is just not what you want to see moving into the rest of the series.
Yeah, and I mean, this goes back to proving the point of give Lynx the resources. So you got numbers to back this statement up too. Look at the damage on this Ezreal. Got that pentakill and just like never looked back.
Got a little bit of gold and just ran away with it. Became unstoppable.
The Solaria vouch is in full effect, is what I'm saying.
It is. It's a buff. Oh, we found out the secret. It's a buff, the Solaria buff. Oh, okay.
Okay.
Not to see if Lynx keep this up, because we do have some substitutes coming out from Maryville that we do need to hit on. We do have a swap in the AD carry position and in the jungle position. We will have Kind Jungle coming in jungle, and then we will also have Azog coming in the AD carry role.
Yeah, really interesting stuff. Of course, Maryville has all these players at their disposal. You can only have 7 of them on your roster at any given moment for Proving Grounds. But they're all, there at the school. They're all ready to compete. And we've seen them take games, all of them so far, have at least a couple of wins under their belt. So definitely excited for these moves. I don't think it changes a lot for them because they do have a pretty similar playstyle regardless, not changing out the entire team. But yeah, I'm excited for the shakeup.
Do you think this is enough, Solaria, to stop what Taco Games mayhem is being brought to the Rift?
I think it might be. I think the roster change, swapping in their 2 subs, is a mental reset. I think after that long of a game, someone needs a little break, and I think it'll be good.
Go get some water. Hydrate up, gamers.
Yes. Some orange slices.
Oh, yeah, that's a secret tech right there.
Yeah, I wonder if anyone had that as their answer to their favorite gamer snack, orange slices.
It's a very underrated one, if it is not. Orange slices are definitely an optimal one. For me, it's pickles. Be real.
Pickles.
Are great. Yeah.
Gamer
Okay.
snack pickles.
Yeah.
What do you do with like the pickle juice? Do you like eat it with a fork?
Wait, do you have
I
a
wouldn't
pickle
wanna,
jar
like-
on your desk?
I wouldn't.
I
wanna, like,
no,
eat
I don't have a
and then-
pickle jar on my desk. Hold on. This is getting too far.
How can it be a gamer snack then? You got to game and eat at the same time. That's what a gamer snack is. You can't have pickles. I call Tom.
I'm being
Ford
interrogated too far on my gamer snack. I want the casters to take this away. So, gentlemen, save me and get ready for another fantastic series.
Alrighty, we are back on the desk, and you know what? Let's take it a step further. I want everyone out there to tweet, "We are unified in ass." Travesty. What do you do with the pickle juice, apparently? I think that was a question everyone wanted to ask. But getting underway here, we are definitely getting off track a little bit too much. Taking a look here at game number 2, all eyes now are on, I believe, 3 different people. Number 1 is Lynx. Game number 1 had a fantastic showing, of course. Phenomenal play, unkillable, if you will, on that Ezreal. But the roster swaps. Jungle and ADC for Maryville coming out here. Maybe a fresh perspective, maybe a key in terms of the playstyle shift to come to game to 2.
Yeah, and I'm curious to see what difference we'll see coming in. We've not seen a ton of Azog so far in the Proving Ground Circuit qualifiers, and unfortunately with the changes in the bot lane especially, we've only seen him play Jinx, pardon me. So just one champion, not a lot to go off. Super meta pickup as well. Caitlyn and Jinx both were left open last draft, so perhaps we see Maryville pick it up. And Maryville, once again, blue side here, so they don't feel like the drafting, or at least the side, was a big issue. They're still happy to go for that first pick.
Plenty to work with, and so far it's sticking the same. I know you hit on it a little bit, but I'm very surprised to still see that. I want to see that. Maryville. Okay, so the reason I'm kind of saying this is because I know that Lynx was the one that everyone wanted to have eyes on, but you and I were talking about Doxa in the mid lane, right? That the Zoe still being left open. But this time around, Taco Gaming say Jinx is the one that we're actually going to ban away, and Azog this will take the Caitlyn. Didn't work too well for Evan, but Maryville say it's still good.
Yeah, and Maryville's just kind of running back the same bans and the same pick so far here. They're feeling like, okay, really, we don't think it was the issue of draft. Maybe it was something they did, they misexecuted a little bit, or maybe it was the top side they wanted to look at, because as good as Niles looked in terms of putting pressure on that Graves, it really didn't add as much to the team fight as Cozy's Mel fight did. But Taco Gaming, they are saying, you know what, sure, you picked the Caitlyn, we're not running it back with the Ezreal this time here. We know you've probably got something prepared to deal with it. We're going to try for the Jhin instead. And I'm just thinking back to last week, Orbital, you know, when we had Avril as our guest, she was not a fan whatsoever of the Jhin so far. And I'm curious that you're putting your big carry Lynx onto a utility AD carry. What is the rest of the game plan to come through for them?
It's definitely not that Ashe that, as Solaria so validly pointed out, right? Saying that's another option that they can go for, and another utility, but still, with the arrow with the range could have been there instead. Like you said, it is a Jhin. They are still going back with Trickster's Lee Sin, and I have to give huge props, right? The Lee Sin did amazingly well in game 1, finding those opportunities, getting some of those crucial picks off. Same lane still, Maryville saying, listen, it was a long game, but we don't think it was any of the champions. We think it was just a little bit of mixed execution. 3 for 3 so far here in this game.
Yeah, and for Maryville here, I was just thinking they kind of have to pick the Syndra once again, because Zoe's still open. If you don't pick the Syndra here, Taco Gaming can just pick the Zoe and then ban out the Syndra in the next rotation. As it stands, though, we already saw Doxa pick that Zoe with the Lee Sin jungle in to get back. And really, there's no reason not to do... Oh, okay. Well, I guess that's the reason here. They've decided to give Cozy their namesake pick here. So Cozy is short for Cozy Shroud, which was, alluding to the Akali pick here. So for Taco Gaming, they decide we're going to do this, and, well, Smacks might get his wish. We might get to see that, Turbo Chemtech Akali come in here.
We don't mention that dark tech here, because I'm sure they're going to have a whole segment on the desk just for Smacks to go over this. I think he has the tutorial video primed and ready to go, but I have to agree. Going to be very, very interesting to watch. Love the bans being thrown to that top side, the gangplank, and the Jay saying, listen, we just can't let those through. However, Maryville still say, look, we already picked the Syndra, you can't really do anything about it because we're expecting the Zoe pickup. Instead, let's take away what worked last time. The Karma was good, and the Malphite. So they're actually saying that the Akali could go in the mid lane. We might even see a lane swap between Cozy and Doxa.
Okay, and to be fair, Doxa has played Akali before, but right now, you're okay to hold that last pick, and Maryville now have to pick something that can run into the likes of the Akali in the top lane on the off chance that Cozy does take it up there. Mundo would potentially do the trick, but right now they're hovering the Udyr, and honestly, I think Udyr is an underrated pick in the current meta here. It's a great duelist in the jungle. And when I'm looking at the Jhin right now, a little bit of mobile, Akali, point and click stun, Viego, honestly, fine, but I would have preferred the Udyr. They've gone for Assassin here. They're very, very squishy, Orbital, and we saw what happened last game when you don't have a tank. I feel like that Niles might need to have to go something tanky. The Ornn comes to mind, or... Okay, blind pick Renekton does well into Akali, or if it isn't a blind pick.
Yeah, I have a feeling this might be a bait. We know players to have done kind of these odd champions or kind of pull these flexes out there. I wouldn't say odd because, of course, Akali is very, very good. But hovering over the Gragas and Jax just feels the fact that Cozy was kind of ready for this pick, saying, hey, we know the Renekton can eat there. But it looks like it's just saying, hey, we know what works. We know, and this is what the players want. This is what the teams want to see, too. This is what everyone wants to see, is Akali in the top side. And the Zoe worked last time. Oh, come on. All right, I just said everything. Everything's out the window. Whatever I said for the last 30 seconds, please forget it. It is now the victor in the mid lane.
Okay, that's right. I mean, it's kind of funny because this particular match just seems to have ignored the most of the proving ground circuit qualifier meta that we've been seeing throughout this tournament. I mean, super high prio, Caitlyn, Jinx. Caitlyn gets picked up. Jinx wasn't as high prio. I mean, this game, it does get banned. We see a lot of Victor, Corki. Corki gets banned. Usually that means Victor becomes super high prio. Victor kind of slipped under the radar for most of the game as well. It just feels like these teams have their own thoughts, their own ideas of what they want to do. And now for Maryville, it feels like a rehash of game one. Yes, the champions are different on the top side of the map, but the idea is still the same. You're picking lane dominant champions with a lot of early game power, early game strength that you can make some plays through here. And for Taco Gaming, their late game is still very strong. I mean, yes, Victor is not a Zoe. It doesn't have the same pick potential, but your team fighting is incredible. And you have that Leona as well, paired with that Jhin, paired with that Victor. If you ever do get the engage into the squishier members of Maryville, it's going to look really good. And the Akali, we've touched on the fact that Cozy is a huge Akali player. But Akali herself is really strong right now. The assassination potential to go through on all these squishy members, it's a smorgasbord of kills as long as you can get the early damage down, get them low enough to let this Akali just clean house.
And knowing how hard Cozy was actually pinched on the top side, or I wouldn't say pinched, right? It was more the latter kind of after effects of the ripples of the bottom lane and mid lane. Now on the Akali though, we had to take that into account. Kind was not here in game number 1, but it was that J4 in the top side kind of putting punishment down, making sure the Malphite couldn't get any kills. Now with the Akali, do we think the Viego and Renekton combination will be thrown in the Akali's face over and over again, kind of sacrificing that bot and mid lane for Maryville University in favor of just shutting down the singular champion?
Honestly, I think Niles can just handle this lane on his own. Even in game 1, we saw that very little resources were sent to the top lane for Maryville, and Niles did win that solo lane. Now, the Renekton was picked into this Akali as well. Niles knew that there was a greater than 50% chance that it was going to be Cozy's pickup here, so I think you just leave that lane on an island once again. Let Niles get ahead. It would be nice if you just make sure that Niles doesn't get ganked for free and that you can counter gank, because I do think they can win that 2v2. But I think I want to see Kind Jungle still going back to that mid lane to get back to this bot lane, Azog as well, especially because Caitlyn Lux, they're strong in the early game, but we saw it happen, once you get past that 20-25 minute mark. Caitlyn, not ideal here, so you really need to get that significant lead. You really need to keep that Caitlyn Lux taking turrets, rotating to other lanes, and constantly on the move.
And we haven't even mentioned the fact that Gweiss, instead of that Karma that was banned out in round 2, has opted for a much more aggressive support, right? This is now another OG combination. You take that Leona, that point and click almost CC with the Solar Flare. this is now much more scary. I honestly, unless Weiss takes an unfortunate, level 2 fight or anything steps up a little bit too close, this could actually be a first blood in the bot lane now in favor of Taco Game.
Yeah, when we saw the Karma last game, you could see how quickly they were getting bullied out. Because when you pick the Karma into a Lux, you're trying to match poke with poke, enchanting shields with enchanting shields. When you pick this Leona here, Leona has a very do or die sort of lane in this bot lane. If you don't get kill pressure down, you're going to get poked out 100%. But with the Jhin, as you mentioned, there is burst damage to come through, especially when Lux and Caitlyn are both such squishy champions here. So if anything, the fact that they're doing this tells me that they might start calling Trickster to this bot lane a little bit more. That 3-man combination is pretty strong, and Viego in the early levels might not be able to match quite the same amount, especially if Shady doesn't land the critical light binding.
You know what? I don't care because all I want to see is Taco Gaming win this one, so I can just say my my prediction is correct. I just want to say that right now. That's what I'm hoping for. So Taco Tuesday, I'm all for it. Hopefully we get to see it. However, Maryville had a few other ideas, and this is something that we've seen teams do, I think, over and over again. They, at least one of the games, whether it be game 2 or game 3, love to try and get these kind of minor picks, and we saw how it can end up, especially for Radiance. Unfortunately, I have to throw out one out there. Most infamous level 1 in that bot side. But I love it. I love to see teams trying those level 1, kind of mix it up instead of the standard defensive one.
Yeah, and in fact, Taco Gaming, they do respond a little bit on their own as well. They do get that deep ward down to be able to track where Kind Jungle is going to start. Kind Jungle is actually going in, trying to get matching vision on Trickster here. Can't quite see. Yeah, the ward did come down. They did see Trickster in the first place, so they know exactly where they are now. Shady and Azog here trying to get a little bit of a lane advantage, but I think the fact that Azog walked out of that bush kind of tells Taco Gaming that, yeah, Shady's probably in here as well.
A fairly standard start as well, right? Even though they're in the bush, because Gweiss and Lynx didn't step up too far, they're not too worried. However, starting out on that Zenith Blade going in is a little bit surprising. Normally, a Leona wouldn't try and take that dive without the stun up, but Weiss said, hey, I can run you out, don't worry about it.
Yeah, I mean, you can start level 1 and just walk up and try and push people out as well, especially for enchanters like that. The moment they use the spell, if the light binding doesn't land, that's a free go button. You can go in completely unpunished. And Trickster, we sit at the fact that, hey, you've got a Leona in the bot lane, is probably going to summon some early jungle pressure here. Trickster might just skip blue and go for an early gank in the bot side. There already is a ward, though, from Maryville, so they recognize the possibility of that happening as well. I don't think Kind Jungle is going to get there before that, so it's a question of, do they back off safely? Can they get out? Trickster, he's going for the long con.
He's actually looking, and that's going to be a dash over.
He got through.
That's going to be about 30 seconds ahead of Kind Jungle. This could be so damaging. That's going to be a flash forward. We know how this goes. It's old, tried, and true. And Shady is going to fall to Trickster. I said it at the beginning, not exactly the 2v2, but it is still a kill for Taco Gaming in the bot lane.
Living up to his name there as a Trickster here. Really great pathing. And the ward is serving double duty as well. It shows them when Kind Jungle is looking to go down there. So Taco Gaming already off to a great start in this bot side. Now, Orbital, because we're looking at the bot side, it's worth noting on the top side as well that Cozy did not run Flash. It's going the Ignite teleport on this Akali. So despite the fact that Niles might feel comfortable in being able to handle the 1v1, Niles is at a disadvantage here. So Taco Gaming isn't even particularly worried about trying to get Trickster up there ASAP. As long as Cozy's got that Ignite, they've got that additional bit of kill threat. Niles, where are you going?
Niles said, I'm done with the top lane, and I'm going to show off in the mid lane. That's going to be a catch, a nice chain CC, and actually flashing under, but Niles might have stepped up a little bit too close. And Trickster takes advantage of the bot side. Leona actually falls, and all of a sudden, blood being shed here in the early minutes.
Yeah, and I'm just so shocked about Niles' roam here. Can they find it? Get back, can you find two?
He's gonna try for it. He still has flash. Trickster has nothing. And Get Back says, get back. What are you doing stepping up? That's gonna be a double kill for Get Back in the mid lane.
That's massive from Maryville to be able to answer. I was getting so concerned, but unfortunately for Niles isn't going to get any assists for that. Had to TP back into lane as well. So Maryville now, things have shifted. We are getting a replay of what happened on the bot side, and it was a gank, but I don't even think Kind Jungle got the assist.
No assist went through. Kind just kind of spent the time there, but again, that still helps, right? It makes sure that Lynx and the bottom lane, Leona, my names, I am so lost right now, but Kind spending a lot of time down here is offset by the fact, you know, usually a jungler spending so much time in the bot side is pretty devastating for the jungle clear, but because Trickster had actually died in the mid lane, it wasn't as brutal a loss as many would have expected.
Yeah, Kind Jungle is fine, and the action doesn't seem to stop here. Gwyce looking to try and find Get Back, but a beautiful Scatter of the Weak just denying it away. And Get Back on the Syndra last game did look really good in the early game, but if they looked good last game, they're looking great this game here. Playing it so well, denying both Trickster and now Gwyce as well of their attempted ganks into the mid lane.
Now we're actually seeing why Niles is preferring to roam out, trying to get as much CS as possible. It's number one, the threat of the Ignite, as well as the lane freeze. So Cozy has actually done this, I think, 2 or 3 times so far, and it's forced Niles to actually roam, and it's actually, I think, forcing Maryville to take kind of forced engages here. Kind Jungle now going to eat the brunt of this problem. It's going to be a little bit of a binding going wide, and Trickster and Gwyce not going to enjoy this setup. The Jhin is there to back him up, but Trickster having to take a round. Very nice skip out. Very nice to get away without much trouble.
I love the rotations we're seeing here, Orbital, because both teams are trying to be proactive. Maryville was setting up a turret dive onto Doxa, and you can see Taco Gaming, they were rotating up to try and pinch the mid lane as well. Ultimately, it just became an issue of Maryville being more grouped up. Now it's actually to run through a turret, but Taco Gaming was split 3 ways there and wasn't able to find anything. Now, we are seeing them set up once again for the bot lane. These junglers, farming is secondary, kills are primary, and they're going to meet 3v3.
Yeah, I mean, kills are technically farming, right? You're just farming about 300 gold at a time, which is much more efficient, right? Totally the way to play League of Legends, but we're going to have to wait and see here. Of course, that binding is going to be Gwyce is going to fire off, but look who's waiting in the bush. It's going to be Trickster. That might be the firing back. Gwyce is going to jump in. That's going to be a root, but the kill still goes through. Azog is going to be able to take the kill. Kind is going to come back with the roots and stuns coming out of that Leona. And now they're going to jump in because you have the kicks. And just like that, Maryville sweep the bottom lane. 3 kills. So easily.
Oh, that was brutal. I especially like the part where Kind Jungle actually became the Lee Sin for a second to hunt down Lynx. Now, Kind Jungle trying to do the dragon might need a little bit of help, but already Maryville, this change out for junglers is making a bit of quite a big difference here. Kind Jungle's early proactivity, the ganks are starting to pay off, and we said that they have an early game team comp that needs to get off the ground. They're in great shape right now. The dragon takes nice, and in about 30 seconds, I want to see them rotating for the Herald. I want to see a stranglehold over every single neutral objective.
And that's something that Maryville did struggle to do in game number 1. They were kind of strung out, I should say, in some of those early advantages. Yes, they were able to, I think, get both, I want to say Rift Heralds at the beginning. Both of them did go in their pocket. They weren't able to do as much as they maybe would have liked with it. They got the tower, and the second one, I think, fell a little bit flat. But now we get to take a look at this bottom lane. How did this complete collapse at Taco Gaming come about?
And it just comes down to who kind of pulls the trigger first, right? The binding lands from the side of Maryville, and Trickster's trying to think, okay, maybe I can counter, maybe I can turn. But by the time they decide to pull the trigger, Gwyce is already almost dead. And so what should have been a 3v3 ends up being a 3v2. And with the numbers advantage, they just push in over and over again, finding more and more kills. Get Back even roaming first. Was Get Back necessary to secure that kill? Honestly, probably not, but it definitely did help out. And speaking of Get Back, Trickster looking to try and even the score a little bit here.
Problem is how optimal is it? Get Back now getting jumped on. That's going to be a kick back. Doxa is going to throw down that Chaos Storm, but the stun doesn't come through, so it's actually a chase round. They do pick up the kill. Kind is now jumping in, but Trickster plays the Trickster and gets away scot-free.
They have to be careful about trying to re-engage this. They're looking because Cozy's coming around the wall.
I think this just might be a 1v1 though. Trickster a little bit too far away. Cozy said, hey, my turn. That's going to be the perfect execution. A little bit lower should be enough. One swing of the Q. Out they go, firing away. Ignite is going to be burned, and a final 5-point shuriken to finish off the kill.
And this is that moment where Kai Jungle's probably like, Niles? Buddy? where were the missing things? Where was the call? And really good collapse from Taco Gaming to be able to punish. And I said I wanted to see Maryville, you know, swing up, grab that Herald ASAP. Well, they weren't able to, and now Taco Gaming is going to try their hand at it. Now Niles is rotating down, but they don't have a jungler.
Niles is like, I'm here now. What do you want me to do? I heard the pings. I'm now here to help out. Hey, what do you want me to do? And kind of just like, listen, we got to talk about this later. We'll hit up the boot camp later, but it looks like this Herald should go the way of Maryville, which would mean they get 3 of 3 that has spawned so far in this game, but that's going to be the Dominus, and they seem to have bitten off a bit where they can shoot. They steal it, and Cozy's able to pick it up. I was worried he was going to pick it up, but they do get one very, very nice grab. Maryville University now kind of strung out. Once again, they only pick up a kill after putting in so much time for that Rift Herald.
Interesting decision by Maryville there to call for the turnaround rather than for the Herald there. I feel like if they had just gone for Herald, they would have been fine. They maybe could have picked up the kill, but at the very least would have walked out with Herald in their pocket. Instead, they end up trading the Herald for the kill, and the kill, I believe, went over to Niles, which I guess it's not a bad thing. Niles isn't having the funnest of times in the top side. Thankfully, the bot side of Azog and Shady managed to salvage that. They take the bot lane turret after all the assistance they got, and now they can rotate that out. That's as good as a Herald here. If you had the Herald, maybe you could push for more, but as it stands, you're still fine. You still got first brick, and you're still ahead team-wide.
And remember, I think it was about 15 minutes in that we saw Maryville up about 3k in that fight, or maybe it was 20 minutes comparatively to the gold graph that we did see in the post-game analyst desk. Still an opportunity, right, for Taco Gaming. This is not anything that they haven't dealt with before. Question is of course, this fight here in the mid lane, once again, a little bit of a root and kick. That's going to be a stun going down, though. Trickster able to gain a lot more HP back, and a flash over the wall means Shady is able to get out alive as well. Nice little root along the back end, but Shady steps up a bit too far. Cozy wants a bit more action, 2 so far for this Akali. You don't want to dive too far forward. The Chem Tech is already down and used.
Yeah, and good turn from Taco there. For a moment I was worried they couldn't quite find the kill on Get Back, but they managed to find it on Shady instead. And now is when the Herald is going to come back and bite Maryville a little bit here. They are going to get a bunch of plates into this mid lane, and unfortunately Azog didn't really get to spend too much time alone in that top side. The moment that fight was lost and Cozy kind of started moving up, they kind of had to back off a little bit because 1v1 Caitlyn's absolutely going to get never mind, apparently Caitlyn can handle the 1v1. What?
Yeah, and I wouldn't say Caitlyn in general could do it, but it was a very nice combination of play with Gale Forest. Trickster, though, getting jumped on here. A hard dive on the back line is going to play and put it to rest. Now it's taking a few too many tower shots, though, and inside of the Shroud. It ain't so cozy for Cozy there, as that's going to be 2 kills taken away by Maryville between the towers.
And now Azog gets to free fire on that turret a little bit more there. Got, I think, another plate actually while all that action was happening. But Maryville is skirmishing really well here.
Yeah, and they forced the flash out of Kind Jungle. Now the slow on Shady instead of a stun. If it were a stun, I think we could have seen a little bit extra fighting. But so far, Maryville playing it very, very well. After those first couple kills in the early game, they started rotating their advantages to others. They're slowly keeping pace towards a nice mid-game play.
Yeah, Dragon is up the orbital, and we did just see the Solar Flare get used by Weiss and not quite find Shady there. So Maryville, they might just come looking for this one here. They don't have the Dominus, but they do have the Unleashed Power and the Heartbreaker, which is more than enough to really execute down single targets. They are late, though, and Trickster almost already has this done. It's gone.
And it's a Chem Tech, right? Chem Tech, in a lot of people's eyes, doesn't hold a huge amount of damage, especially with how squishy Maryville is. Of course, it is only second drink. Maybe they just don't really care about it, right? Don't want to expect the energy, but it's also one that you don't have to worry about too much if you're not tanks, really.
Kind of true, I guess. That said, I mean, Cozy's going tank Kali here. Ooh. And speaking of Cozy...
Well, he's not so tanky just yet, and that's one more Q. Built over Peacemaker, snagging a third for Azog.
Not gonna lie, Orbital, that kill is not super important, but I feel a savage satisfaction watching Attack Akali get absolutely busted down there. I am not a fan of it. Keep it out of my solo queue games. And you know what, for Maryville, keep it off the Rift. Tackle Gaming, though, answering back because Lynx and Gweiss were topside already. They're punishing this turret. They're trying to take it ASAP. They actually can't take it before Maryville is coming up. And because we are post 14, they didn't even get the plates.
It's kind of putting a lot of time up here. Level 9 and level 6. And we're going to get a very rude awakening. Scatter the Wiki just to clear the lane, though. So Lynx and Gweiss should be okay from any sort of dive or gank. And jungle, of course, rotating up as well. So it's actually 4 that Maryville sent. I mean, there's not much else to get on the map, so it does make sense.
Yeah, and Maryville's rotations, we said it before, the macro is good, but hold up 1 second here. Trickster?
Trickster flashing over the wall, getting away safely. Kind jungle went a bit deep as well, but Lynx on the back end actually got caught out. I think he's dead. Yes, he is. That is an unfortunate series of events, as the unkillable Link from game number 1 is now 2 in the gray zone.
To be fair, Jhin is a very different champion from Ezreal here. You don't have anywhere near as much mobility even with that Gale Force. And Maryville, us just talking about their rotations here, they've been really good. They've constantly been moving Azog away from Cozy, away from danger, and Azog is up CS. And on a lot of these rotations right now, Maryville is not overly sacking lanes. Yes, they are losing some CS, but every time they make these rotations, they're playing with the numbers advantage as well, and that's why we keep seeing these dives, these kills going over the way of Maryville. And last game, at about the 15-minute mark, we're probably closer to about 3,000 gold difference. In this game, Maryville is up 4k right now. They are improving on that, and I expect to see that grow further as they continue taking turrets here.
And keeping in mind how the late game went in game number 1, the question, of course, comes about, like, how well will Taco Gaming be able to deal with some of these situations? They don't have the Zoe, and Alice here, of course, getting cut down. Shut down in favor of this Lee Sin. On the top side, though, the response is Doxa's life. Still go ahead and go down for the second time. After he tries to CS a few times, Kind Jungle will take it with some help from the tower.
Yeah, it's cool that Doxa died and all that, but bot side, come on, man! How is that a tank when you can dive a Dominus Renekton like that without any real damage items either? You've got Sork Boots and an Oblivion Orb. Great. I've got healing, I've got a bunch of utility, and I can just dive a Renekton. That is brutal to watch, and I guess I feel sorry for Niles, because I guess Niles wasn't expecting maybe the sheer amount of damage, or isn't as familiar with this tank Akali just yet here, and Cozy gets to get away. And so far, Taco Gaming doing a great job answering back. It feels like every time Maryville take a turret, Taco Gaming are right there alongside, making sure that they don't fall too far behind.
A little bit of freestanding gold in the top lane. Bottom lane sure to follow soon, but it's still very, very healthy. Dragon up in a minute, so we should start seeing some wards be laid down, depending on who wants to go down there and try and place them. Cozy headed towards the bot side, and in the top lane, we're seeing the mid laners duke it out. And you know, this is fairly standard. This is you know, around this time we saw a lot of blood being shed, a lot of fights breaking out, and so far it's just been those kind of 1-for-1 picks, and I don't know if that's an improvement or not.
Yeah, I'm not sure either, because I feel like, yes, Maryville's been doing a lot and been doing really well, but let's not forget that they're still running the Caitlyn Syndra here and Renekton as well, so their skilling still isn't going to match up to the Akali and to the Victor. So I do feel like it's on Maryville to continue extending this lead, and in the last 5 minutes they haven't been able to extend the lead. In fact, they've lost gold lead. The last time we checked, 4k up. Now they're only 2.2 thousand ahead of Taco Gaming. They are, though, setting up for this dragon, and if they can continue stacking the dragons, if they can get the soul, Mountain Drake, that goes a long way towards helping their late game here.
Yeah. And because of that, you can see it, large priority set. I think I see 2 pink wards as well as 4 regular wards lighting that bot side up like a freaking Christmas tree. And that means Kind Jungle can take it as freely as he would like. That'll be the 3rd dragon. Again, going down, but Niles getting a great slice and dice out. But a follow-through is going to come through. A nice kick back into the stun. Should be the kill, but can they follow up? No, they can't. It's a trade of 1-for-1 instead. That will be Doxa, though, picking up a kill. First one for him this game.
Honestly, a 1-for-1 considering the situation Niles was in. isn't too bad there. And for Maryville, that must have come as a surprise. That is so deep in your jungle right now that you weren't expecting to suddenly find an enemy camping out in 4 members just hiding around the corner there. So to be able to respond that quickly is good for them. They do manage to find the kill, and they found it on Trickster as well. Unfortunately, no jungle objective to take. Baron's about to come up, but it's too early for Maryville to try and go for that one.
Yeah, and especially since their gold lead has kind of dwindled over time. We were talking about the 4K lead that they had. Now it's down to about 2, and that's even scarier because we're moving later in the game. Weiss, though, now eating a large chunk of damage. Can they get the kill, though? They do not. Kind is going to be able to possibly get away. Ooh. And look at that Akali ripping through the back lines. That'll be 2, a double kill for Taco Gaming, running Maryville out of their jungle.
I feel like I'm getting flashbacks to game 1 here. Orbital, the way Taco Gaming just suddenly turned it in the mid game. And I was saying that's too early for Maryville to take Baron. Well, with that many kills, it's not too early for Taco Gaming. And they're looking for it here. There's no smite, so Niles, this is so risky. And I don't think there's really any benefit to Niles sticking around here. Yeah,
he's trying. He has no dominance, but he's just going to try and play. Keep away here. Look at how they're juggling aggro. I love the fact that Taco Gaming are not allowing anyone to get too low. Scatter the Weak comes in. They are going to get the support. Cozy might fall as well. They are going to get the grab. Niles is going to go in with the dominance now. It's finally up, but it's a little bit too little too late. Link says, you waited too long, and I'm making you into a bag.
Yeah, 1 for 1, not... I guess it's kind of worth it. You took off the Baron from 1 member, but it's Gweiss. It's the support. They weren't going to be split pushing on their own anyways. They're always going to be with somebody, and here we get a replay of that fateful moment here. And they just get a glimpse of vision. The problem is, sure, Gweiss gets caught. Gweiss is a tank. Gweiss doesn't care. You blew everything trying to kill the support, and then now you're deep inside the enemy base with insufficient damage, and they just clean house, and that's going to lead to a whole bunch of problems. Taco Gaming, with this Baron buff, what can they take here?
Yeah, and I mean, it's going to help so much. You can already see about 1,700 in their pockets right now, and they're going to keep pushing. The question is, how are they going to allocate it? Because my eyes are on Cozy, right? I want to take a look at the items as soon as we get back to taking a look at that. He is now stacked up. He now has the Demonic Embrace as well as Oblivion Orb. Both of those are plenty to start cutting through. He is now a menace. And I mean, RMC, you're going to have to start talking about it. You're going to have to start liking it because Cozy is 4-2-3 with, I believe, a 300 gold bounty on their head.
I don't have to like it. I will talk about it because we do have to address the fact that Cozy's picked that up. And the fact that well, Akali just does so well with these sort of utility-based items or items that scale off of their own damage and not of her numbers, right? And Demonic Shroud, it gives you a bit more health, more tankiness, but more importantly, it gives you the burn as well. And now Niles is really going to struggle to lane into this Akali. Smacks called it a ranged Tryndamere last game when Niles played the Graves, but you don't have that option. Renekton is not as good as Tryndamere. He's not even ranged, and Cozy is going to rip him a new one if they end up going to 1v1.
Oh, that's going to be the current call, possibly calling down an end to an inhibitor as they get the kill. Trickster is able to find one with the help of the Jhin. Cozy is going to fire away a little bit as well, but the tower falls here shortly, and that's what they want. But a follow-through, very nice last shot by Azog. Now into the hole is going to force Cozy away. Tower is down. What else can be gained, or what can Maryville get in response? Slice the guy straight to the back line. A very nice cleanse into dash away with the Gale Force. Means that the fight is continuing and going. Niles, remember, like you said, ranged Tryndamere is not melee Tryndamere, and you don't have the Undying ultimate. Now they're going to chase forward. Doxa is going to slay Azog, and this is looking like Taco Gaming might annihilate an inhibitor here. This is crazy to watch over Maryville.
Okay, I mean, Taco Tuesday, usually you get a discount on tacos, but no, Taco gets a discount. Buy one, win, get one free. They're trying to end right here, and they might have overstayed.
Yeah, they might have, but the inhibitor goes down. Remember, that's all they really have to worry about. Now, how many are they going to get away with? Heartbreaker is going to go in. Out goes Doxa, and the most that they have lost so far in the extended engage is 2 members. Taco Gaming get 2 towers, an inhibitor, a couple kills, and only lose 2 members. That is a fantastic push that they have just pulled off.
And they're setting up another ambush because the dragon's coming up here. They know that you guys are mostly squishy at this point. Dominus was already popped by Niles in that previous fight, and there you go, Shady got caught.
Oh, Shady is down, and there's a teleport in the back. I'm not sure if this is what they want, and it's get back, one of the squishier members, but look, the fight is pinched down, goes Victor. Doxa is dead, follows through with Gwais getting the ace of the hole in the back, down about 100 HP, and dead. Get back has taken that kill as well. In goes Trickster though. Trickster is gonna take another Heartbreaker, doesn't find the resets, and Leaks just says screw it. Cozy in the backline is gonna do the same, and just like that, Maryville get ace after they lose their inhibitor.
The trap looked bad for Taco Gaming at first. After it sprung, it looked like Maryville was going to be able to just throw enough bodies in. But this is why I hate Tankakali. Cozy just 1v2'd the entire back line, and Trickster, my goodness. Trickster has just looked amazing this series as well. Cozy, no, please, no, not in the fountain. Not in no!
You know what? I think that's it. I think Taco Gaming have done it. I thought it was going to be closer. Maryville just now reviving, but it looks like this might be it. Out they come, though. They lost both Nexus Towers. Are they going to get the final kills? No, it doesn't look like it. So Taco Gaming, they've broken the base. They come so close, and they will get wiped here. But it's a small price to pay for having an exposed Nexus.
Okay. I'm still trying to process the fact that that happened there. They didn't quite manage to end the game, but like you said, exposed Nexus, and kind of funnily enough, the dragon that was the bait for the last trap is still up, and Maryville are going to be able to pick this one up. But Maryville are in a bit of a tough spot. The good news for them is that the only lane that was really broken open was that bot lane here. Mid lane inhib is still up. Mid lane inhib turret is still up. So they do have to watch for TPs from Doxa and Cozy to backdoor, but they don't have to worry about supers pushing in multiple lanes here. So they can still look to contest and, you know, buy time. The bigger problem to me is the fact that Maryville, even if you buy time, what are you buying time for? Your time is up. We're back to the state where they've been outscaled and Taco have kind of taken over the game. So Maryville has to win back-to-back-to-back fights at this point to really have a shot at beating Taco Gaming.
And the one on your screen, Cozy, right now, on this Akali, the namesake, right? It's giving me painful flashbacks to another assassin tank top lane that was very, very prevalent during some of the seasons. It was the Fizz top lane tank that ruled the meta for some time, and it's like deja vu all over again. Base damage values absolutely crushing it, and being such a disruptor here. Cozy has absolutely shown that this is a pick that you cannot allow him to have.
Yeah, it's literally his namesake pick, and that's why I was so shocked and surprised that we're not seeing Zoe bans, we're not seeing Akali bans come out against Taco Gaming here. And speaking of Taco Gaming, they're just going for Baron here just to end it. And despite all of this, you know, Maryville still has to be very, very careful. I don't think they got all the TP timers. I don't know if they know that the TP timers are still down, but even if they're not, if Maryville overextends and goes towards this Baron a little bit too far, Taco Gaming can just rush into your base and try and fight you at Baron. That's an option as it stands. They're going to take an inner turret.
Yeah, this is going to be the bleed that Taco Gaming have allowed themselves, right? Maryville consistently have to be pulled between major objective and their base, and as that happens, their indecisiveness that it is well forced. It's not an unforced error. It's not like they're winning and they're just dancing between objectives. It's that Taco Gaming are pulling them. Right, so that is something that will occur. It's all about stemming the bleed, and even with the final spark, it's a little bit too early. That's going to be Baron once again on all 5 members.
And surely this time it has to be the end, right? Taco should be able to push in and win, right? I mean, you'd think that, but part of me is still kind of doubtful too, because Maryville's done an amazing job, 22-21. They've been able to answer back at least in kills. So for Taco Gaming, take it slow, go for the split push. You've got super spot. You can go for that 4-1 with Cozy, you know, separated from the rest of the team here. There's no need to rush this. And the moment you see Maryville split up, the moment they mess up the lane assignments, or I say mess up the lane assignments, but nobody can really handle Cozy necessarily. So the moment, you know, anybody gets low enough, Cozy gets a kill, that's game over.
And the worst part now is you can say the same thing about Doxa and Lynx, right? Both these two carries have started to output immense amounts of damage. You can see the lasers from Doxa laying in so much pain, and we're starting to see the base break once again. This is going to be the fight breaking out. This is the Renekton getting chunked out. It could do a dang thing. Soulfire scatters everyone. On Maryville side, Cozy is going to fall. Down goes the assassin, but look at the carry still up. Doxa on the far side. Guy goes in. Are you going to live? No, you're not. Shut down. 4 Lynx, curtain call already used, deaths are on the board, and there is 30 seconds to play with as the mid lane inhibitor is gonna fall.
Bot inhib has respawned though, but it is open. They can just go for the... I don't want to say let's just go for the Nexus, because that's how they messed up the last time. Take it slow. Take the inhibs first, drag them out. They do have a numbers advantage here, but get back is really scary, and the unleashed power wasn't used. It's still available to try and pop somebody.
I'm so scared, RMC. I want to say my predictions are up. I want to be one of the 3 that has predicted Taco Gaming to win. I want to believe in the tacos, man. I want to believe in my food craving. And 3 inhibitors down, only a Nexus structure left. Gives me so much hope. Trickster, Lynx, and Doxa don't want to leave right now. They are saying we don't want to give it up, but we can't stick around as much as we want to finish off the Nexus. The threat of a soul still gives some credence, even though it's a mountain soul. It's still a soul nonetheless. You can't give that permanent buff over to the likes of Maryville.
Oh, yes, you can, Overdo. You can if it means they lose their Nexus here. And Taco Gaming, I feel like this has been their go-to play here. This game is set up an ambush in the bot side, but Maryville don't need to leave the base. In fact, I don't want to see Maryville leave the base here. Taco Gaming only has the 1 dragon. Give them the 2nd Drake. It doesn't matter. Focus on clearing your waves, pushing out the best you can, because you're seeing double supers come in right now. And Taco Gaming, if they just group up with those double supers, the supers will end the game for them as long as they can keep Maryville occupied.
Yep. Baron should run out as they are running into the base, so it won't be Baron empowered, but it's still double. Like you said, other ways are still a ways off. Should take another 15 to 30 seconds for the top and mid to rotate in. That's why they're sending Cozy a little bit on the side to try and cut off the flank. This is going to be do or die for Maryville. What can they do? Kind Jungle running off on the edge, and it looks like they found 3. Binding lands on 1. It's only on Trickster. Can they get more? The kick lands, and he gets away clean. Trickster is alive, and now Doxa's running rampant in the back line. That's going to be the Zanya's user, Azog, who might fall here. There it is. The carry's down. So is the Renekton. It is going to be the double kill. Doxa running roughshod. RMC. It has happened. Taco Gaming complete the 2-0 over Maryville.
Let's go, Taco! And just an update as well from the other stream, the Unified live stream. Winthrop also beat Dare, so my predictions for tonight are completely wiped, pretty much. But hey, you know what? I'm fine with that, because Taco played that game so well. They know their win conditions, and yes, we said that a lot of strong, I don't want to say overpowered picks, but at least in the hands of these players, overpowered picks made their way through. But you can't deny that the fact that Taco Gaming is able to pull out these wins against both sets of Maryville rosters is nothing short of amazing.
Yeah, and I was curious, right? Number 1 is Doxa and Lynx, right? These 2 that picked up champions that I feel... I love Victor, yes, but it doesn't always have the same impact as Zoe, right? We were talking up Doxa Zoe was so good. On the bot side, the Jhin as well, this utility ADC, we were curious how it was going to fare. You don't have the utility like we were saying. And yet it played out so well, and they completed. This is amazing. Taco Gaming go ahead and claim their berth in the playoffs.
Yep, and for Maryville, this isn't game over. Maryville winning their first round means that they have the leeway to lose this and still make it through the playoffs. And when I did speak to the assistant coach Tej here, they already said that, hey, you know what? We're not too worried, win or lose. Obviously, we want to win, but we've got our eyes on the long con here. We are a team, that is still developing. We're still looking to, pull things together. So if we lose here, it's fine. It's just more games, more practice for us, and we're going to come back stronger than ever.
It's fantastic to see, and I have to say overall, this is something that I'm very happy about, right? I love the fact of watching these teams that a lot of people, analysts, viewers even might not see as that star shining, right? The underdog. if you will. Taco Gaming, don't get me wrong, weren't really seen as underdogs. As you saw, even the analyst test was saying that there might have been some fluctuations in there. And you know what? I'm going to tout it as well. You know what? I lost out on the Dare Gaming. I lost that prediction, whatever. I'm happy about Taco Gaming, but the idea that these teams are much closer in standing than many predicted at first gives so much credence to the fact that we could see even more explosive games in the future. And that, my friend, is going to be the big question on everyone's mind. How long can this win streak continue? We will go to a very, very short break to ensure that we can get an interview for you from Taco Gaming to see their thoughts on the series win over Maryville. So we'll be right back in just a few.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, back to the Unified Proving Ground circuit here, as we got a little bit of a fuzzy image.
Yeah.
Incognito mode activated for Lynx here.
I'm not sure what happened. I can try.
just give it a little bit of refocus, a little razzle dazzle. Take it away. Okay,
It's not looking good.
it's all good. We got incognito mode on. It's fine. We can still see the brilliant smile coming off your face after a fantastic dub for you guys inside that last game there. Congratulations on getting that first seed. And I'm going to start it off with the fact that you were the first non-LCS affiliated amateur team to qualify in. How does that feel?
It feels great. I'm just really happy with the boys. We all played pretty well, and then we took home the dub 2-0.
And speaking of first, I have not been fact checked on this just yet, but it seems like you're the first person to get a pentakill inside of the qualifier right now. So how does that feel for you? How was that moment in game number 1 on the Ezreal?
Well, like during the team fight, I had no idea I was gonna penta. It was the most random thing. Or I just heard Malphite TPing in, we're going hard, and then just after the fight, I just smiled.
You can't help but smile, right? A pentakill doesn't make anybody frown, right? We saw the happy bee emote, man.
Yeah,
Well,
it was a fun time.
Yeah, and I mean, look, Taco Gaming picking up the dub on Taco Tuesday. Gotta say, appreciate the celerity in that one. I want to talk about the fact that you had a huge vouch going into this game before the series even began. Solaria, our most valued guest right here on the desk, gave you the hugest vouch. How does that feel going in? Did you hear about the vouch beforehand, or were you focused in?
I didn't hear about the vouch, but I know Solaria. She goes to my school, or she went to my school, so I've talked with her here and there. She helps out my collegiate team from time to time, so it's good knowing that she trusted me. Glad I could make her proud.
She made you, yeah. I mean, you got a pentakill, the game that she vouched for you. So I feel like that's a big one indeed. And I know Cozy feeling a little sick. How was it playing with everybody kind of on this level of comfort? We had Cozy popping off on Tank Akali, which I know Smats was very excited for, over into the side. How was that game for you guys, especially with all the fighting you guys did?
The games were pretty stressful, actually. The first game especially, it went to 45 minutes down to the wire, a few backdoor attempts. But I feel pretty good with this team. They're all like pretty friendly to one another, so we trust each other. So it's good that we won.
That's great to hear, especially because you guys, all of you played inside of Proving Grounds before, but not on the same team. So it was a big question seeing all this talent kind of come under one roof and see how they perform. And how does it feel to show everybody exactly what this pool of players can do?
Yeah, so me and Cozy were on a team last split together, so I'm familiar playing with him. And then Doxa and Trickster, before the split began, they kind of just hit me up and they said, "Do you want to maybe try and play a team?" Because I don't think they were gonna play this split, and I wasn't really having any plans either. So we kind of just all came together, and then we picked up Guys to fill us off, and feels good. Team's looking good. We're all working good together.
All right, one last question. The name is Taco Gaming, okay?
Yes.
Do you guys celebrate your dubs with tacos, or what's the idea here, man?
Unfortunately, I had a burrito this evening, so
You're not double downing?
not double downing, but next week.
Next week. All right, so we're looking for the dub again next week. We'll have to keep our eyes on that. With that being said, Lynx, is there anything last that you would like to say to anybody who's been cheering on this group of players here in Taco Gaming?
I just want to shout out the team, everyone, our coach Shia, Taco himself, all the other 4 members, just everyone, just good stuff all around.
Thank you, Lynx, for the interview. Congratulations on the dub and the pentakill as well. Hope you have yourself a fantastic evening. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and throw it back to our desk to go ahead and get us going through the rest of the day. As we are in for it. We got to see yet another chaotic game, y'all.
That was really fun. I'm really glad we got to hear from Lynx after that one. You know, the only player with the pentakill so far, and carrying that last game as well on the Jhin. And he got the Solaria vouch, and the vouch goes both ways. Oh, it's such a wholesome day on the stream today.
How does it feel?
Feels real good. Feels good.
Oh man, yeah, the vouch goes both ways. And talking about it though, we have to break down how everything happened, because yet again, we got put into a longer game, and it started off Maryville favored yet again, but there were some tricks up Taco Gaming's sleeve, honestly, especially from Trickster.
Yeah, you mentioned that it started in Maryville's favor. The first play was not, because Trickster was pretty sick on the first play.
Yeah. I think everybody was Trickster fans over here. We were all Trickster stands at the very least at that point. I know I was. I was screaming. I was like, he's so good. But we should have a replay of that very moment to kind of highlight some of the early game that Trickster was able to show here. And it was fantastic pathing to come out from the bot side. And here it goes. Solaria, if you would, take this away.
Yeah. I mean, they recognize that bot lane needs to get ahead real fast, and Trickster recognizes it, takes 3 camps to bot lane, and skips the ward. Like, to understand that the ward's there before the gank even goes to make it happen is incredible.
Mm-hmm. They gave him the kill, too, for his efforts. They're like, well, you just made that really sick play. You deserve it, buddy. Here you go. Sonic Wave this right here. Set it up for you. Very kind.
I just love the fact that Azog was like talking with his chest and like, no, you can't get over to him. Leave my support alone. Like, you can tell Azog was not wanting that to happen, but it did become the end result anyways there. And Trickster had a lot of great moments for themselves inside of this game. As talking about great moments, you gotta look back. A minute later, we do get to see Niles have a very interesting moment in our second replay that we have in store for us to kind of see how the rotations come out here. Very interesting play.
Niles began to channel his inner support, shoved 3 waves, and immediately ran mid lane. He literally playing Leona here. It's the same champion, I promise.
He's got the dash, he's got the
He's got the dash,
stun.
the stun, like it's all there.
Except for the kill.
Except that little too much.
But talking about too much, I mean, look at this though. Get Back immediately capitalizes on that though.
Yeah, that's true. Trickster and Doxa try to stay and fix the wave, and then, well, there's a whole bunch of Cinder Orbs. Yeah.
Greed equals speed. It's the mantra. I'm telling you.
Well,
just chant that to yourself in your games, and it will help you.
Yeah, that play was really creative from Niles, but and you know, it ended up working out because they overstayed. But I think the real problem was that he gave up so much in his own lane to do that. It's really good to do on support because you don't really have to farm. But as Renekton, you are still expected to go up and take the minions in the top lane. So giving over a lot of advantage to Cozy on the Akali ended up being a little bit of a rough spot. And it was the tank Akali as well. I'm very happy.
Yeah. I was about to say, I know you're salivating to talk about it. It is tank Akali time. And Smats, it would be injustice not to let you take this clip.
This build is so sick. So it's really bulky, and the new way that the Chemtech works is that you get an empowered auto attack similar to how rapid fire cannon works, except the way that it applies is you don't get extra range from it, you get an extra AoE burn damage, and it counts as a spell. So it works off of the demonic embrace, you get the burn damage from that, and it gives you a lot of extra magic damage. This build works really well because Akali doesn't have a lot of AP ratios compared to other champions. Her base damage is really high, so you get just a lot of use out of this. You get a lot of resistances. The HP works well with Demonic Embrace later, which he did end up purchasing, and it just makes Akali have more at her disposal without really taking away a whole lot, because the damage is still there. And it's really cool to see Cozy, it's his signature champion, right? He used to go by Cozy Shroud. He's an Akali main. Seeing him adapt to the new build is really cool.
You love to see it. And talking about things you love to
I really
see
do.
is this was the start. I know you do. I know. Trust me, I know. But this is also the turning point, right? This is yet again where we were seeing Maryville for the most part, actually, despite the replays that we have been showing here, Maryville's been doing a good job finding moments, getting themselves ahead, but that was the downward trek. And from that point forward, we have one last replay to go over. This is the one that sealed the deal, it seems.
This is where I really started to respect Lynx even more and fully understand the Solaria vouch, because I like the Ezreal game, sure, but now he's on a more utility-based champion that doesn't have a lot of mobility. But as we're about to watch, he's still got the mechanics on lock. He's still able to do all this damage. Watch what he does here. Gets stunned by Renekton, has the cleanse, and then Gale Forces out of the Lux Laser to survive and keep all this damage going. Crazy mechanical outplay from this guy, and they get to keep winning this fight too. This is just really, really cool from Lynx.
He doesn't miss. I
Yeah.
think that's just the biggest thing you can take away from it. You can't get to the guy. You can't get onto him. He will just continue to do damage. Larry, I feel like you're proud just watching that moment here on Lynx.
Absolutely.
Like, I come back and you're just got this big smile like, yes, Lynx, yes.
Well, the first time I ever saw him was at collegiate tryouts and whatnot. I saw him play, and I'm like, okay, never heard of him before, but he's really good. And then I didn't see him play for like 6 months, and I'm like, wait, he got better. He keeps going.
So you're telling me this isn't even the peak, right? He's still
He's
getting better.
still going. He's still going.
Oh, we're in for a treat. Has gotten a pentakill inside this series and has been highlighted time and time again. So looking forward to seeing more Link here as see exactly what they have. They're the first seed coming out of this group. Can you believe it?
Yeah, that's so sick. I'm really proud of Taco Gaming for getting there. They've got some really solid players all across the board. The question was always just, will they have the coordination to take down a team like Maryville, who's been playing together for a very long time? Turns out the answer is yes. And while it wasn't like the cleanest games, they did give over some advantages to Maryville. The way that they got those back and the way that they showed their mechanics in those team fights was undeniable. I think this is definitely a team to watch out for further on to the playoffs. Big congratulations to them. I'm really looking forward to seeing them play in a week.
And with you, Solaria, I want to get your closing thoughts here, because we are going to be missing you for the Nets series here. Do you want to see exactly how do you feel looking at Taco Gaming and as they go forward?
I mean, they exceeded my expectations for this series. I thought it would be it was a very close series overall, but they played incredibly well for how chaotic this game was.
Yeah.
Like, they played well in a game where no one really was playing to their game plan, but they adapted to every single play. And I think that's a good team.
Sometimes the best plan is no plan at all. And I think that they definitely encapsulated that inside of their game. So thank you yet again to our special guest. Make sure you go and follow her on Twitter. She is fantastic. She'll give you all sorts of feedback. And also, she got a mean mitts up on Tekken. So make sure you check her out. That being said, thank you all for coming in. We're going to take ourselves a short break. And when we come back, we'll be going into our second series. So don't touch that browser.